Hello, I'm Ginger Nelson and welcome to Tea Time. Today we have Tim Bell on the set with us and he brought us some beautiful daylilies. You are with Bell's Daylily Farm in Sycamore, Georgia. Welcome.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Now, Tim, you have Bell's Daylily Farm and what did you start out doing? You didn't start out growing daylilies.
I didn't. I was a farmer for a number of years growing peanuts and some produce. And this became a hobby. A distant relative gave me a few plants, and it was a hobby that kind of consumed me, and it became a business from that.
So you stopped farming to actually open up your own business as a daylily farm.
I did, and now I basically farm daylilies.
How long have you been doing it?
I got my very first plants in 1982 and became a full-time business in 97. So I've been growing them for about 30 years now.
Oh my goodness, wow. Well, you know, a lot of people around have them in their yards, but they don't go to that extreme.
No.
So you just had a passion for it.
I did, and it's something that there's probably no other plant on the planet that I know of. I've always loved flowers, but I've never seen a flower that has as much variety as a daylily. There's over 70,000 named varieties in almost every color excuse me, in the rainbow. So you've got a lot of different things in a daylily. It's not just one type of flower.
Now, when you decided to grow daylilies, did you know much about the plant or did you do research? How did you learn?
Not really. It was more trial and error. It's a very simple plant to grow and a very forgiving plant. It's one of those plants that's hard to mess up with. And
if you don't have a green thumb like me, it's okay to...
A green thumb's not important. I tell people a dirty thumb is better.
Oh! So that means you got to get down and dirty, huh?
Right.
All right. So now you've got how many breeds out there?
We have about 1,000 varieties at a time.
Varieties. Mm-hmm. 1,000.
That's
1,000?
That's a handleable amount, and because we publish a catalog, you've got to have something that will fit in a catalog, and more than that, it's really hard for me to have at one time and to know where they all are.
Oh my goodness. Now, is this at your home?
It's actually at my mother's home.
It's at your mother's home?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, how nice that is. She gets to look out the window and enjoy it, huh?
She gave me my love for flowers, so she gets to enjoy my business around her home.
Now, you were talking about a catalog. I'm going to hold the catalog up for y'all to zoom in on. Now, you do mail orders as well, right?
We do. Probably half our business is mail order. We ship all over the United States, and we no longer ship out of the country because of shipping problems, but we do ship to almost every state.
Now, what's the name of the daylily on the front of this cover?
That is Atomic Fireball.
Atomic Fireball. Now, did you name that one?
I did. It's named after one of my favorite candies as a kid growing up.
Oh,
little hot fireballs.
So you actually breed them, right?
I do.
So tell us a little bit about how you breed them.
Well, it's a very easy plant to breed. We simply break the pollen off and put on the pistil, and we end up with a seed pod like this. And we collect the seed, and the seed are planted, and it takes them about 2 years to bloom. And then once they start blooming, we select the best of those and grow them for another year, and then select the best of the best. And we're not just looking for a pretty flower, we're looking for a great plant as well. One that has a lot of buds, it will bloom often, will hold itself up in the rain and the wind. So there's a lot of other things than just a pretty face.
So you actually, to breed one, you would actually take two and breed them together,
yes.
Right? And so do you ever know what they're going to turn out like?
Well, you can have an idea, but it's kind of like kids. Neither parent can have red hair, and you can have a red-haired child. Often I'll cross red with red and get a yellow.
Really?
So there's something in the genes that will link up in just a certain way. But a lot of times you get stuff that looks almost identical to the parent.
Okay.
Which, for my purposes, is no good because we have the parent unless it's something different or better. So we're looking for the unique. It's something that's a little better or a little stronger, a little more buds, stronger color.
Now, how many breeds do you have?
I've created something over 200. I don't know the exact amount, but
200.
over 200 now.
Oh my goodness! And you name them as well?
I do.
How do you come up with the names?
Well, I get
That's
a lot
like
of
coming up with 200 children's names.
right. You can't use 1, 2, 3, and ABC.
That's right.
I get a lot of my names from church songs, and things the preacher will say, and I'll jot things down in the back of my Bible. That is one of the easiest places for me to get the names. Also, you can name them after people. There's one named after my wife, which is, I think, one of the best ones I've ever done. And
what was that name?
Linda Bell.
Linda Bell.
It's a beautiful flower, and it's been a super parent for me. It's actually the parent of several of these flowers. But my daughter, Jessica, has one named for her, and this year I'll be naming one after my middle daughter, Rachel.
So you said that you told me off camera that you're going to name one after each child when they turn 16.
Right.
That is sweet.
Whether they like it or not, it's.
So when you say the parent flower, you said that Linda Bell is one of your parent flowers. What do you mean by that?
It just happened to be a very good breeder, and I've used it a lot in my breeding.
With another one.
It is just, and it will be the parent of many of my future introductions. You'll come up with something sometime that can be a very pretty flower, but it's not a very good breeder. But Linda Bell had everything I wanted in a flower. It was a beautiful flower
like
in itself.
That's sweet.
Exactly. It's very deserving of her.
Well, we're going to go to a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to talk more about daylilies and Bell's Daylily Farm in Sycamore, Georgia. We'll be right back.
Being a dad can be tough.
No. What do you mean she's not coming?
When's the fairy princess coming?
Any minute now.
But when you're willing to do anything...
It is I, Grooves Zinkerbell. Okay, time for cake.
It's always worth it.
I know it's really you, Drew. I'm just pretending for the other kids.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov.
Summer is here, and it's time to spruce up your home. At Home on 12 has everything you need to make your home stunning and fresh. From coordinated bedding and monogram towels to unique home decorating items, you'll find a wide selection of beautiful pieces. If you want a new look but you're unsure of where to start, At Home on 12 offers interior design services as well. Their professional framing shop has a great selection of frames and mats for artwork, family photos, and more. Visit At Home on 12 at 1202 Highway 41 North in Tifton, online at athomeon12.com, or by phone at 387-8888.
Maybe he's really focused.
Hey, Michael. Maybe he likes spinning the wheels.
Maybe he just loves trucks.
Maybe he's just being a boy.
Preoccupation with objects is one early sign of autism. Learn the others today. The sooner it's diagnosed, the better.
Welcome back. I am talking to Tim Bell, and he is with Bell's Daylily Farms in Sycamore, Georgia. And we are talking daylilies today. And I have to say, the reason why we have you on the set, well, first of all, you have a beautiful farm, but second of all, my husband loved the farm so well that he took a photo of one of your daylilies, and it is going to be our cover on the directory this year. That Plant Telecommunications puts out.
That's right.
And it is, the name of that flower is going to be Great Mercies.
That's right.
How'd you come up with that name?
That was one I got from church. I'm sure it was probably in a song or something as I wrote it down.
Great Mercies. Well, it is a beautiful, beautiful flower. Now, these flowers, do you know the names of all these, or do they have names?
Only a couple of these actually have names. The rest of them are what we call a seedling, which every daylily starts out as a seedling, and then over time, as it goes through the selection process, it's given a name when it becomes sure that you're going to introduce it to the market.
I see. So most of these don't have names. So
right.
You'll say if it makes the cut, then that's when you come up with a name for it. So explain that, making the cut.
Well, when we do our breeding, we make 10 to 15,000 seed a year. So we're watching 10 to 15,000 plants bloom. And only introduce 10 to 15 or maybe 20 out of that amount. So we see a very large number of blooms, so we have to narrow it down to the very best. and then grow them and pick the best of the best.
Because not all of them turn out.
Right.
You have some that you say are ugly.
Some are a pretty flower, but they don't have the good plant habit. You've got to depend on how tall the scape is, the bloom scape. It could be too tall, it could be too short. The plant could be a plant that doesn't grow well, it doesn't look good in the off-season, or very prone to a certain insect or something. So there's a lot of things that go into the selection.
This one is beautiful. I'm going to turn these flowers around, Brett, and see if you can't get zoom in on this one right here. This little one. I love this little one. Now, you have actually named it.
Yes, that one is called Mouse Eyes.
Do you see it? Because it's so little, but it is beautiful. So you said it just looked like mouse eyes.
Just a little beady eye. It's a great bloomer, has a lot of buds.
Now, how is this the first year?
That one's 2 years old, I think.
2 years old. That one's beautiful. Well, they are all beautiful, but I like this one because you just don't see the little ones like that.
Most people's looking for something big and flashy, but there's also a place for small flowers when you've got up next to a doorstep or something where you observe them up close.
So I'm going to ask you the questions that, well, you said I have to have a dirty thumb instead of a green thumb.
Right.
That a dirty thumb person wouldn't know. When is the best time to plant daylilies?
Here in South Georgia, there's really not a bad time. We can plant year-round, but the best time, I would say, is fall to get the plant established before spring, and it's not as hot. We've got through the hot weather, but actually you can transplant them any time of the year.
So, explain to us, you've got, I called it a bulb, he tells me it's not a bulb.
It's not a bulb, it's just a perennial.
It's a perennial.
A daylily is not a true lily. It has the name lily, but it's not a true lily. All true lilies do come from a bulb, but you see there's not a bulb here on these plants. Some of the fat, fleshy roots give people the idea it's a bulb.
That's what I was thinking is a bulb, but it's actually just a fat root.
It's just a root that's got a fat storage area, almost like a potato. And some plants have a larger root than others in the daylily world, so they even look more like a bulb than this one. But this is a good example of a double fan plant. By fan, this is one fan, so this is double fan. This is the amount that we would normally plant when we separate a daylily. This would be enough to give you a nice show the following year. You could pull them completely apart and plant them as individuals, but it takes them longer to be showy in your yard.
Oh.
So we recommend leaving two plants together.
I did not know that. So you actually plant them side by side together.
And you can plant more than that. If you've got extra plants, you can plant 3 fans together. But your whole purpose in separating them is to start the plant over and give it a chance to do again, so you don't want to put too big of a clump back down that would need redoing again very soon.
When do you recommend that you separate or divide?
Fall is probably the best time. And it's a simple thing to do. Take the plant up, wash the roots, or at least shake the dirt off where you can see what you're doing to pull it apart. Some pull apart very easily. If it's a very old plant grown in hard soil, it may have to be cut apart, which is fine to cut through just between the roots. And as long as a plant still has some root on it, it will grow and survive. So don't be scared to cut the roots.
See, that would be me. I'd be scared that I'm...
It's a very easy plant to survive. There's not many plants that you take up and separate and transplant even during its peak bloom, and you can do that to daylilies. That's the way we sell them. The peak bloom, people come and buy them, and we dig them up bare root. So that tells you the plant's easy to transplant and grow.
Okay. Now, how far do you plant them in the ground?
A daylily likes to be planted shallow. People will see the white on the plant here, and they assume that you put soil up as high as it's white, but you don't. You just cover the roots.
Just cover the roots, so not very far at all.
Most of my plants, you could pull the pine straw back or the mulch, and you would actually see some root right at the top of the ground. They like to be planted shallow. If you plant them too deep, they won't bloom well.
Oh, gotcha. That is interesting facts about daylilies. Now, you have something coming up in September. Let's talk about that.
Okay. It's a second year we've done this. It's called the Daylily Spectacular. It's on September the 7th. It's pretty much an all-day event. We'll have people coming from 3 or 4 states to participate. It costs $50 to register for the event. And for your $50, you get a $150 plant just for coming, as well as a catered meal.
So you pay $50, but then yet you get a $150 plant.
Right. So it's a very good deal.
And a catered meal.
Right. But that's not the big clincher for this event. Is two things. We have a bargain table, which will have about 100 varieties set up on tables in crates with their picture on them. And you can purchase these plants at a fraction of their normal cost. And then we have a big auction, half before lunch and half after lunch, of the newer varieties that are about $75 or more. And typically at these auctions, those plants will only sell for about half price. So it's a great deal on daylilies.
Wow, wow. So this is September the 7th, and it's from 8:30 to 3 o'clock p.m.
Right.
And it is at Bell's Daylily Farms. Now, you said there's a catered meal, and that is with, who's catering it?
Walker's Barbecue in Sycamore.
So you pay $50, but then yet you go home with a $150 plant, you get your tummy full.
And a catered meal.
And a catered meal, yeah.
And then we'll have door prizes all during the day as well, and a raffle for $1,000 or more worth of daylilies for $1 per ticket. So.
Oh my goodness, a raffle for $1,000 or more worth of daylilies.
Right.
That is a lot. So this is your second annual one. How did last year go?
It was great. It was a fun event. It was very well attended. It sold out very quickly. We do have a cutoff date of August the 23rd to let us know if you're coming or not to register.
Yeah, so you got a little while, but not very long, because they are catering a meal, so therefore you need to get your money in and
right.
let them know so that they can prepare the meal. That sounds like a fun day, a great event. Now, can you tell us where you're located, Bell's Daylily?
We're in the edge of Turner County at the Anaha exit, which is exit number 75 off of the interstate. We're just a mile off of that exit.
Just a mile.
It's very easy to find.
So not hard at all. Well, we're going to go to a quick break, and when we come back, we'll give you a little bit more information about Bell's Daylily Farm. We'll be right back.
Jangan awal.
This song was created with heartbeats of children in need. Find out how it can help frontline health workers bring hope to millions of children at everybeatmatters.org.
If I got to go to college, oh my goodness. I like discovering new things. You get to see what works for you and what doesn't. That helps you evolve as a person. You get to make like a supernova of skill or talent or whatever it is. I've always wanted to go to college. I just feel like that's my destiny. My name is Queen, and I am your dividend.
Welcome back. We have been talking daylilies today. Beautiful daylilies. Now, Tim, I have a question. How many varieties of daylilies do you come up with a year?
Like I said earlier, we do 10 to 15,000 seed a year, but we only name and introduce to the market about 15 to 20 varieties.
Oh my goodness, but still, that's a lot.
It is, but that gives you an idea of why they're priced like they are. People will get sticker shock a lot of times when they see the newer daylilies. They're going, that's $100 or $150. Well, you've got to remember, we had to grow 10 or 15,000 seed into plants.
Oh my goodness.
So we had to transplant 15,000 plants, and we only named 15 to 20 of those.
Now, what is the price range?
Most daylilies come to the market at $100 or better. And that's the reason they do, because you never get your money back out of the plant if it took you 5 years to develop it and you had to grow 15,000 plants to get it.
Oh my goodness.
So
I did not, I mean, excuse my ignorance, but I did not realize that it takes that long. I mean, it takes, what, 5 years just to get one plant.
Well, you've got to select it and know it's a variety worth putting on the market. Then you've got to increase it into enough volume to introduce it to the market.
So, and you have 200 varieties?
Something over 200.
That you have created. That's amazing. Now, do you know any other farmers around that have created that many? Or
there's some of the big breeders that have done way more than that. They've been doing it for longer than I have. But that's about the number that people put out per year, is around 20 varieties.
Now, do you go to different workshops to learn more? Or
it's pretty much trial and error, stuff you've learned on your own, and that you from other hybridizers whose shoulders you stand on, that you've learned from.
I'm sure it helps that you grew up in the country and you were a farmer as well.
Right. When you love to do dirt and keep your hands in the dirt, that's the key, is to enjoy what you're doing.
Now, this is a family business as well. Your wife works in the business with you.
She does. She is a very big part of my business. She does all the computer work. She does my catalog from cover to cover.
Yeah, and this is a beautiful catalog. I mean, let's see if I can flip some pages, because there are, does she take the photos as well?
I actually take the photos, but I have to sit and look over her shoulder as she goes through the computer to pick those out.
You take the photos, but then she actually photoshops them and cuts them out so that she can actually insert them into this.
She puts the catalog together, and she does our complete mailing list. We have about 9,000 that we mail all over the country every year, so that's quite a job.
These are just beautiful, beautiful flowers. So you mail out how many a year?
About 9,000 catalogs, and then we have a couple other mailings that go out announcing sales and stuff. So
how many daylilies do you think you mail out a year?
I have no idea of that, but about half of my business is mail order, but I ship a lot of plants.
So you're shipping almost every day, right?
Well, we ship on Mondays. That's one reason we're closed on Monday. We're closed on Sunday, Monday, and Tuesdays.
Okay.
So we're open Wednesday through Saturday. But Monday is our shipping day, and right now we have a sale still going on, so I'm doing a lot of shipping on Mondays.
Okay. Well, we want to remind you about the September the 7th, the Daylily Spectacular. It is Saturday, September the 7th at 8:30 to 3 o'clock at Bell's Daylily Garden. And you have to call. Do you need to call, or can you sign up on the website?
You can go to the website and download an order form there.
The website is,
register.
We'll put it on the bottom of the screen, but the website is bellsdaylilygarden.com, and it also has all the different varieties that you sell on that website.
Right, it does.
So if anybody is interested in a certain type of variety, they can come visit the farm, or they can actually call and have it mailed to them.
They sure can.
This is great. Well, we appreciate you being on the set with us. I know we've got footage that we're going to roll that we've taken out at the garden, which is a beautiful garden. And we appreciate you coming today.
Well, thank you, Ginger. I've enjoyed it. Thank you for having me.
And we want you to remember September the 7th to go out to Bell's Daylily Garden, and also be looking for your new telephone directory that Plant Telecommunications puts out in the mail. It is coming soon, and it has great mercies on the front of the cover. We'll see you next time right here on Plant TIFNet's Wiregrass Channel 3.
But it would be safe to keep your distance until the secret that makes you smile. Reliable sources say that chicken soup has found their way out of this. They are returned.
getting closer to nature can get you closer to your family. Go to discovertheforest.org.
I recently had hail damage, but he provided me with a rental vehicle, and my Flex is as good as new. I mean, they really fixed it, and I probably would not have trusted anybody else to do what they needed to do in order for it to be fixed. So they did a really good job.
Kurt came up with incentives that the other dealers wouldn't even tell me about. I had no idea what I was actually paying for the truck. They were wanting to know what my monthly payments wanted to be. So I came to Cook County Ford and talked to Kurt, and I'm well satisfied.
Summer is here, and it's time to spruce up your home. At Home on 12 has everything you need to make your home stunning and fresh. From coordinated bedding and monogram towels to unique home decorating items, you'll find a wide selection of beautiful pieces. If you want a new look but you're unsure of where to start, At Home on 12 offers interior design services as well. Their professional framing shop has a great selection of frames and mats for artwork, family photos, and more. Visit At Home on 12 at 1202 Highway 41 North in Tifton, online at homeon12.com, or by phone at 387-8888.
That's low. That's low. That's low.
People think I'm trash, but they're wrong. Today I'm just an aluminum can, but one day I could be a stadium.
You sure you don't want some? It's chamomile. Listen, you are extremely terrifying. Just the scariest undead subhuman thing on TV, and I really mean that. But I am worried that you could give my kids nightmares if they see you, so I'm gonna have to block you. So that's it. Oh, and tell the zombies they're blocked too.
So, same time next week?
Well, of course. Put away a few bucks, feel like $1 million. For free tips to help you save, go to Feed the Pig.
Oh, sweetheart. Gonna give you a hand?
No thanks, Dad. I got it.
Okay. I'm gonna go fix the lamp in your room.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of children in foster care who will take you just as you are.
Does your car have a chip key? If so, stop by Short & Pollock's Key Center in Tifton, Sylvester, Albany, and now in Dawson, where we can cut and program chip keys for most vehicles on the road today.
Products that build dreams. Sure